Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm here to share with you digital entrepreneurship to transform community. Now, before I go into the main, what I want to share really, I'm going to talk a little bit about the foundation and about all entrepreneurs like coding people that have the same skills that you do and who today have turned into entrepreneurs and they're using it to transform community. So I'll start by talking about the foundation. Tune Mill Foundation is a commitment by the founder to, to identify, empower, and train people, young people who are able to make, a difference in their community. And in 2014, we announced the entrepreneurship program, and we've been lucky to have, young entrepreneurs that have the same skills that you have go through this program. And today they're making a lot of changes in their communities and they're really, really creating a lot of impact. I'm going to share a story of three people. And the reason why I'm sharing this is so that you would know and you would believe deeply inside yourself that it is possible, that you can become a change agent with the skills that you have. Then after that, I'm just going to go deep dive into all the opportunities that exist for you so that at the end of it, literally, I want, as I'm talking, you are writing down or using your device or whatever it is you want to take it, and you're telling yourself, I can do this. This is what I want to do, and I can become a change agent. So I'm going to start the first person, who is Vital. Now, Vital's business name is Exportunity. And basically, this is an exclusive B2B trade platform. And basically, what they do is that they want to empower anyone to be able to export products. So literally, he came up with this platform using his skills, the same as you have, to ensure that a farmer in a remote village is able to produce his crops and can find a buyer and can export it straight from his village all the way to Europe or to any part of the world, because he puts the ability to export his products into a single device. Now, in his words, he says, my company was inspired by sites like eBay, but we adapted Exportunity to the African market. We built the mobile application that works on all types of mobile devices, including non-smartphones. And this is, of course, understanding the fact that not everyone has a smartphone. So literally, there's absolutely no one that is left behind. Every single person is able to export his product. Right now, he's within the ECOWAS region and he's looking at expanding. So I want you to know that it's possible. With the skills you have, you can make a difference. The next example I want to give again is Nelly. Nelly, and I deliberately chose a woman after a man to ensure that we have some very good diversity. Now, Nelly, the company is IMED, and IMED Group is a medical design engineering technology company. And basically, what they do is 3D prosthetic printing. And the current field, their main field right now is breast prosthetics for cancer patients. But they've been able to, also come up with a lot of other products. Now, in her own words, he said that their business is built around making social impact. And for them, making social impact is not something that is sidelined. It is part of the company's DNA. So you can use your skills with the DNA that is social impact to create products and solutions that significantly change people's lives, that help them emotionally and physically, and you can still make money while making this real change. So this is a second example. Now, when you're doing this, it's not easy to do, because when you have the kind of skills you have, there's so many people out there asking you, telling you that you can come and work with them and all that. So I'm going to give you an example of somebody else who turned down, fantastic opportunities with Microsoft and so many other places to start his own business. And I'm going to share with you, his thoughts and, he shared some of his vulnerabilities. And the reason to tell you that it's not an easy thing to do, but if you have it in your mind that you want to create meaningful change and that you want to become a change agent in your society or in the community that with the skills that you have, because of that conviction and because you truly believe in yourself and your skills, you'll be able to really make an impact. So I'm talking about Chris. He said, I want to fulfill my dream of adding value to Africa by unlocking unemployment and skill management. Now, the business is Slate Cube, and I'm sure a lot of you know about Slate Cube. It's a technology software as a service solution, and is used for learning and workforce development, and it's being used right now by government, social impact organizations, you know, and even individuals that are trying to, you know, make a difference. Now, in his own words, he said, "I've been approached by tech companies and companies from other industries as well, many of them in UAE, or by smaller startups in the continent." And you keep asking yourself, you're going to get close to 30 and you lose significance. But you know, because you also know that what you're doing is creating, you know, meaningful change. And because he's convinced that he wants to be a change agent, and that his skills, the skills that you have, that you don't realize how powerful it is, you're able to make a difference in people's lives. And so because of that, it keeps him going, and he has really been able to achieve a lot. And then there's some other entrepreneurs that I've not talked about. So there's Edmond Noni, who, you know, created both Edmond Noni and NDBC Eze are known as the drone king. And basically what they've done is, you know, they've used their talent to be able to, you know, meaningfully impact people. So for Edmond, what he's been able to do with his drone and the software, superior software, is to give you ability to remotely manage your sites from wherever you are, see what is happening. And of course, this was very, very useful during this COVID-19 period where people needed, you know, to be able to manage things remotely. The second person, of course, is Ndubisi, who, you know, his own solution is used in the agri sector. And his solution was so fantastic and so novel that, you know, Singapore government invited him to come, and, you know, his solution is being used today in Singapore, apart from in Nigeria. So again, I want you to know that every single one of you watching this, you have the ability, the innate ability, and you have the requisite skills to be able to make meaningful impact, and to be able to change the community that you are in, and to, you know, bring a lasting change that, you know, touches and improves lives, not just today, but, you know, for the rest of their lives. Now, the next thing I'm going to go in is that to just talk about some areas today that, you know, there are lots of gaps, and we need people like you with the skills to come on board and, you know, to come up with a solution that is going to make a significant change in people's lives. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is education. Today, we know that there are 10 million children out of school, and this is just Nigeria. If you go around the world, there are billions of children out of school, some in developing countries like us, but even some in, you know, more advanced countries, you know. So this is a solution that if you're able to come up with, it is scalable worldwide. Again, because of the changes of what's happening in society, there are new skills that are coming up, and are coming up as on-demand skills. If you are able to come up with education solutions, not only are you able to, you know, solve problems at the bottom of the pyramid for education, but even at the top of the pyramid, a lot of on-demand skills that come up. People are very busy. They don't have time to go to schools, physical schools, and therefore, even in that space, you are able to use, you know, your abilities to be able to create things for people to be able to learn these new skills remotely. Again, just stretching that is edutainment, and that comes into gaming for learning. So think about people that have disabilities like autism and all, who also, you know, they need something a little bit different from the standard learning to be able to, you know, still grow their capabilities. So imagine if you are the person that is able to bring this solution. Again, autism is something that is, you know, it's serious, it's around the world. It is, if you're able to come up with a good solution, it's scalable, you know, and again, you're able to help people to deploy new skills through gaming, because when you learn through games and, you know, you interact a lot, and the skills that you have, especially scenario planning, tend to stick better than just standard classroom learning. Another area is robotics. I mean, I can't talk enough about robotics. The application, you know, is tremendous, from the healthcare industry to the manufacturing industry to even education and learning. So, and, you know, and even within each of the industries, how you're able to use these skills are, you know, amazing. Down to, you know, robotic prosthetic limbs. There's so much that can be done within this field, and it's people like you with the skills that can, come up with, solutions that can help people and then to touch and improve their lives more. Again, healthcare solutions, I've alluded to that. Today, think about during COVID-19, a lot of people that were ill didn't go to hospitals because they were scared, And then, of course, there was a lockdown. So if you didn't have your own private car or access to a ride-hailing app, you were literally stuck at home, or you had to go to a pharmacy or a chemist near you. So think about, how you can create a solution that, that democratizes access to healthcare, and to transfer patient data seamlessly for doctors to be able to see patients around the clock if they need that, to drive things like telemedicine, and even again in healthcare, 3D prosthetics, digital imaging, to enable them to be able to then upload the data for either robotics or whatever it is that is going to use that. Think about, how you can use your skills for remote diagnosis and prediction, because, there's some lifestyles that, and food choices that people make that, the right AI and the right data analytics, you are able to predict, susceptibility to a couple of diseases, or even, how to improve their outcomes if they have any issues. So this is a place that we need you a lot. So another one is e-commerce solutions. I mean, this is a no-brainer, to link buyers directly to, and that reduces middlemen, which improves margin. And of course, once you improve the margin of a farmer or a direct produce person, you increase his quality of life. Back to transport and logistics solutions. What I was saying then was that, imagine if you could plan your journey, and not just, for the standard journey plans that you could do for when you're going when you're flying, or, when you have, when you're flying, or, rail line and all that, but literally you could just plan from the beginning to the end, down to, based on what you can see, where you have bad roads, to be able to change to another type of transport system. So imagine if you had everything at your fingertips. You could go from a plane to come down, you get into an Uber or a car, and after a while you can change into like a bike to pass through very bad areas and go back. Imagine if you had an app that was a solution that was able to do that together. That would just put, ability to move around at your fingertips, and it will help systems tracking, and you're able to send anything anywhere. And you can also boost tourism, because you can then just seamlessly add all the hotspots and all that onto that same app, and literally people would know where to stop and do everything that they're doing. And this application would be very, very helpful in the healthcare industry, especially supply chain of drugs, because that is one of the greatest challenges they face in Nigeria. Again, language and recognition platforms. This helps a lot during travel and relocation, especially when you come to a new community that you don't know what is happening. It enables you to be able to get around, and think about security and armed forces that tend to go to a lot of places that they do not have, places that they don't really know, and they don't necessarily speak the local language. This would enable them to be able to, quickly understand what's happening, know when they're in danger, and know how to get around. Again, agriculture solutions, I talked a bit about it when I talked about DBC Eze, and and I also talked about something similar when I talked about Edward Noddy. So just using software and data analytics, AI-driven data analytics, for you to be able to understand what's happening in your farm, predict everything, using drones to capture and transmit images can significantly make a lot of difference in different sectors, agri sector, construction sector, whatever sector you put it in. It was very, very helpful during this COVID-19 period, because people could track what's happening in their farms remotely. They could understand what's happening in their sites remotely. They literally could do every single thing through these solutions without having to step out of their house. So they kept their businesses running, but they were still safe. And finally, just AI and data-driven solutions, anything that can enable data-driven decision-making and forecast, which can improve communities, like urban planning. So imagine if you had the ability to forecast, based on the trends of a couple of days, how long it will take for you to get to work today, whether the traffic is getting better, is getting worse. Imagine if you could plan, as a government agency, you could plan that in this area, based on the increase in the cars going through there, in a couple of days, in a couple of years, you need 2 or 3 roads, you need extra bridges and all that. Only people with your requisite skills are able to come up to do this, and able to empower people to be able to, make the right decisions. So I urge you, there's so much that I've not captured, But I hope that, with the little I've talked to you, the little I've said today, you've been able to think it, it has opened your mind to what is possible. And you are literally, what I'm hoping is that by this time, you're literally telling yourself right now, like, I can't wait to finish this conference. I really need to get on. I need to start something today. Because it is extremely possible, I've shown you examples, to build a sustainable business, make a lot of money, while touching people's lives positively, helping them to be able to live better, fulfilling lives, and also leaving a legacy and an impact. And that is, if there's anything you take out of this, everything I've said today, just remember this. You can have a business model that enables you to touch and improve lives and make a difference in people's lives today and for the rest of their lives. And yet, you can be profitable and you can leave a legacy. So January 1, 2021, another cycle opens, and we're hoping to get people like you to come on board and be part of the next generation of African entrepreneurs who will live and create wealth in the continent through entrepreneurship. And finally, before I leave you, I want you to make a pledge to yourself that you will use your skills. I literally want you to say I and call your name and say, I will use my skills, to touch and improve lives in my communities. And and I want to do that starting today. You're not going to wait till tomorrow. You're going to start today to do that. So thank you very much for your time. I hope I've been able to, share a few things to open your mind to what is possible. And when the former speaker was speaking, he said something about that, partnerships. I want you to know that, if you think about the top people that have created solutions, they didn't do it alone. They did it together. So use this conference to make the right connections and meet the right people that you can beat your chest and say, together, working with this person, I can create a difference. I can, touch and improve people's lives, and I can be a change agent. Thank you.